Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, it is late March 2025, and it's really too early in the year for it to be this hot, but for the third day in a row here in Phoenix, it is hot enough to melt gallium. Right? Too bad there's the Terrafied gallium. I would love to show you guys me working with gallium outside without any other equipment, right? Just the gallium, melting it, going back inside to make crystals. Wouldn't that have been fun? I wish I had bought some, but you know what? I after making them, where would I store them? That's the problem, right? But that's how hot it is in the Phoenix area. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I finally have some connections here in Phoenix. I moved to Phoenix in September of 2022, toward the tail end of that summer, so I really didn't get much of a summer there, but summer 2023 was brutal. I was just starting my art career. I didn't have a whole lot of money at the time. I was just starting to bankroll my art career, right? And I just started my dream jobs at Maricopa Colleges, and and then it was really hot. It got up to 120 degrees. I distinctly remember. I have a habit of eating a lot of baking chocolate. I often forget it's in my pocket, and it just makes a mess, right? Kind of like trying to keep gallium in your pocket, right? And then Taylor Swift's song "Cruel Summer" was all the rage that one summer. She wrote it several years earlier, but it really made a comeback during the tour, and it was already uncomfortably hot all year, and that's the only song that we ever heard on the radio. Every time we turned on the radio, and also going on for me at that summer was I was having a hard time mingling with people. I was trying to program the AI for the game of Ticket to Ride Poland, but I couldn't get anybody to play the game with me. And now looking back, what's really sad was that I got so fixated on playing that game that I missed out on so many other opportunities to network. I've learned to not get too fixated on what I want to do at the moment. So right now, for example, there's something going on in Taiwan. I hate to talk too much about it, but I try to remember that there's 8 billion other people, right? There's also the Mondrian art squares I've been making, but I try to remember there's other art projects, right? It's kind of hard to do, right? At the same time that you want to specialize, you also want to keep an open mind, right? That's what I struggle with a lot. Finally, the weather started to cool down, but I was so heartbroken about the board game. I missed out on so many people. And then last summer, I got COVID-19 during a heat wave. And, the world is just so cruel when you get anything wrong. Like today, I'm going to be teaching a class on engineering. My students really love me. I'm on top of the world. But imagine anything go wrong, right? And it doesn't even have to be anything serious, right? Maybe on the way home, I total my car, and maybe I'm not even hurt that much. I just need to go shopping for another car, miss a couple of lectures doing that, or get my heart broken and be in a mess in class, right? And all of a sudden, things can quickly spiral downhill, right? There's the average person is probably a few missteps away from complete chaos in their lives, right? Especially here in the United States, right? And that's why it was really important. My New Year's resolution, two things in my resolution. Number one was to network more with people. And my rule of thumb, I don't know how many of my viewers have ever done speed dating, but my rule of thumb is that treat life like it's an 8 billion person speed dating event, right? Make sure to mingle as much as you can with everybody in sight. Say hello, whatever is appropriate for the setting, right? If it's here at the campus, say hello to somebody, right? And if it's out in the shopping mall, maybe even introduce yourself a little bit, right? Whatever the situation is. And that has actually done some wonders, believe it or not. My other resolution was that because I did so poorly with the heat here in the Phoenix area, my other resolution was to be in a better situation so that during this summertime I could travel somewhere cooler or take a sabbatical, either one of the, because summers are divided into two sections, maybe one of the sections, right? Uh, and some potentially also look for work in another city. What I really despise is how hard it is, and this thing I have done several times, so I'm not just talking about, I'm talking from experience. It is so hard to look for work in a city that you want to move to, right? Because your options are you could move there and then you'll be unemployed, right? Unless you can have a remote job, you'll be unemployed and you'll have to explain that. Or you could start looking back home, but then why are you looking for a job 1,000 miles away or halfway around the world, right? That's also pretty tricky to answer, right? Uh, that's a conundrum that I still do not have a solution to. Even my friends who have done it don't really have good solutions. They seem to just get lucky or just wing it. And I really despise our culture, right? People should be more mobile to move wherever the fucking they want to move, right? Right? Someday I might even look for a job on another planet, right? And imagine uh, although if it's on another planet, at least you can't have a. If you call somebody on Mars, at least you can't have a back and forth dialogue, right? It will be one message, and then you got to wait at least 40 minutes before the message comes back, right? At least then they won't be able to grill you, right? If it's on the moon, then it might be a little trickier, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.